You put first ethics and happiness and success. I think in the return, success first, ethics, then happiness. Why you change?
I made a mistake.
Dear young sisters, and then of course, some brothers. Once more, come here, meeting you. 가사 아자라의 민주 사원 하자. 미나시 사원래. 미나시. Okay. Your face very familiar. So I'm very happy once more here. Firstly, I apologize, a little bit delayed. But mainly because the morning program visit the leprosy colony. Really moving experience. Tear come. And then I told, they also same human being. They also have every right to pursue a dignified life. Right? So, some representative from different states, they spoke, and particularly from UP, he expressed there are a lot of discrimination. Really heartbreaking way. Such sort of people need more respect, more sense of concern. So, after that, lunch with Governor of Kasa, Mikalia. Since my recent visit, we've become friends, so he invited me. So there I told, as a governor, how many cases in his own state. And then I asked him, as an experienced sort of retired official, how can you do to eliminate this kind of discriminate sort of attitude? And he mentioned, I also fully agree, education. And here mainly education of warm-heartedness, which based on sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. I mentioned that. I think we too much emphasis on secondary level of differences. So, sick person, poor people, uneducated, or low caste. That's the secondary level. The fundamental level is we are same human being. We have same right because we have same desire to achieve happy life. So now, come here. So you, firstly, young Indians, and then particularly young Indian girls or ladies. I often telling my generation, I think including this person also, I think, and you also, I think, we belongs to the 20th century. We are 20th century's generation. Whether good century or bad century, it's already gone. Nobody can change that. Now you, the generation of 21st century. So 21st century, only one decade passed. Or more than one decade passed. So remaining, I think over 8 decades yet to come. So future is sort of like space. We can move. So you, generation, I think all over the world, the generation of 21st century, you have the opportunity to create better world, happier world, less problem world. A lot of problem, actually, our own creation, including war. If you have strong conviction, they are also human beings. They also have a right. Be happy community, or happy country. Then no basis of war. And also no basis of discrimination. All are same human beings. All have same right. So, in order to build happier world, less problem world, ultimately related with our brain and good heart. Technology, money, no guarantee create happier world. Even individual may be very, very rich. Some my friend, among my some friend, very rich, I think a billionaire. But as an individual, as a human being, very unhappy human being. So that clearly shows material value failed to bring inner peace, happiness. So therefore, now, in order to build happier 21st century, peaceful century, you should pay more attention about our inner value, not just material values. And then education, unfortunately, I feel existing education system, so-called modern education system, I think very much oriented about material value. So in those countries where materially very much sort of affluent, highly developed, now more and more people realize the limitation of material value. So people showing more interest, more concern about our inner value, including scientists. So such period, such time, Indian youth, let's say the 21st century generation, you have great potential to make significant contribution for build happier 21st century. And then also, usually I telling, in human history, say, I think 100,000 years ago, and human population very small. Then no concept of leadership. All work together, and whatever they get, share together. And then eventually population increasing. And then farm system develop. Then the question of ownership, mine. And then eventually some mischievous people start. So the concept of leadership happened. So at that time, no rule of education, no education. So therefore, in order to become the leadership, the physical strength is the main factor. So male dominance start. Even some religious sort of tradition, existing cultural heritage, also uses some impact or influenced. So male dominance comes. Then gradually education develops. That brings more equal men and women, male and female. Now we are 21st century. Existing education alone not sufficient. We must include education about warm-heartedness. So we need constant effort to promote awareness, importance of inner value, mainly human affection, human love, compassion. In that respect, biologically, female more potential give love, affection to others. So the time importance of promotion of human love, human compassion. Now female should take more active role. So this women's college, I think, you should prepare how to bring more compassionate society. So please think more seriously. So that's why some time back, I think 20 years ago, one occasion in Paris, one interview, one French women's magazine. So the reporter asked me, in the future, it could be possible for female Dalai Lama. Then I immediately responded, oh yes, of course. If circumstances are such, female Dalai Lama more useful serving Buddha Dharma and serving concerned people, then must be female Dalai Lama. Then I also add, if female Dalai Lama come, must be very, very attractive face. Otherwise, may not much influential. Like those because of actors, more beautiful, so more attraction. So I mentioned, because of this is my belief. Now time comes, we must promote every effort for promotion of human inner value, love, compassion. Biologically, now scientists, they found female biologically more sensitive about others' pain. And then my own experience, I think actually first teacher of compassion for me is my mother. My mother really they provide us immense affection. So that affection, I think, it's too much affection, so I a little bit spoiled, I think. One reason, as a boy of farmland, farmers, there is not much other sort of toys to play. So my mother used to carry me on her shoulder when she farming or milking, like that. So I used to sort of, because of a happy way, sit on my mother's shoulder. And eventually I become a little bolder, so I hold my mother's two ears. When I want to go this side, go this side. If my mother not listen, then bumping. Give some punishment to my mother. So now I really realize the first seed of compassion, or karuna, from my mother. My father, a little bit short temper. A few occasions I also get some like that. Our mother, I think we all her children, I think almost none of them were. None of us, you see, saw my mother's angry face. So you all, basically, biologically, you have more potential. Provide love, affection. I think I can make distinction. Love and affection. Superficial level, again, now the others appearances, including physical appearances. That's not very sound. Genuine love, compassion, the being, no matter what their appearances, what their attitude, but consider as a human brothers, sisters, showing love. Genuine love, affection towards, on the basis of understand, they also human being, they also deserve love, compassion. Then no discrimination, whether you see your friend or your enemy, both are human beings, both deserved our love. So on the human level, then we can extend our love, compassion towards entire 7 billion human beings, including your enemies. On surface level, appearances level, then enemy create trouble for you. So on that level, yes, the concept of enemy, they and we, that come. So that's the basis of trouble. So now time comes, we must promote genuine sense of oneness of humanity. Today's reality also, including ecology problem, global warming, and global economy. These now new factors now teach us, you 7 billion human beings must act together. So the century-old concept, we and they, is now outdated. Now we must consider 7 billion human beings. Everyone is part of us. So now here, India, all these concepts which I'm talking is actually your tradition. We Tibetans always say, mother-centered being, all mother-centered being. You see, this concept comes from India. So therefore, I usually describe Indians, historically, our guru, we are Chela. And then also, I mentioned, we are quite reliable Chela. Reason, in Guru's own land, a lot of sort of ups and downs, all these rich kind of the knowledge. While those centuries, some ups and downs in Guru's own land, we kept intact all those knowledge we learned from you. 7th century, begin in 7th century, then mainly 8th century and 9th century on. Even Tibet, decentralized, still translations, scholars, so the visit, so the invite from India, like that. So through centuries, we kept your ancient knowledge, tradition. So it's quite sufficient to prove we are reliable Chela, isn't it? So therefore, I myself also, you see, consider as a messenger of ancient Indian knowledge or Indian thought, ahimsa, secular ethics. Wherever I talk, I always refer ahimsa, non-violence, and the karuna. Then religious harmony. That's India's tradition. Look, I think India is the only nation now today, I think out of about 200 nations, I think India is the only nation where all major world religions live together. About, I think, 3 years ago, one occasion, I was in Jodhpur, Rajasthan. That area, more Muslims. So one foreigner, European, he carries some research work. He told me he carries some research work about religious harmony in this country. So he visited one Muslim village. Village means, in Indian standard, I think a few thousand, must be a few thousand. So one Muslim village, about a few thousand population, he found only 3 Hindu families. No fear, completely friendly. So that's India. Occasionally there's some problem here and there. That's of course understandable. Over a billion population, some mischievous people always happen. But overall, I think India is a living example. Religious harmony, still there. This is not newly developed, but over 3,000 years. You see that tradition there. So these things, the promotion of non-violence with here, karuna, compassion, infinite compassion. And then religious harmony. Then another thing, secular ethics. That also unique about India. Modern Indian constitution based on secular. In the West, the understanding about the meaning of secular is some kind of negative towards religion, or distance, or disrespect to religion. According to Indian understanding, secular means respect all religions and also respect non-believer. That is something very unique. Now, today's world, out of 7 billion, about 1 billion are actually non-believer. So when we talk about humanity, when we talk about necessity of inner peace or inner value, it should include non-believer. So if we use the method promotion of inner value based on religion, then difficult. And also multi-religious people, difficult. So therefore, really wise Indian leaders when they draft Indian constitution based on secularism. That's, I think, today very, very relevant worldwide, global level. So, one my sort of commitment is promotion of human inner value through secular ways. No discrimination, believer or non-believer, among the believer, this believer, that believer. So long, all want happy life, all human beings. Then, with moral ethics, secular ethics, also you should respect environment and other animals. Like Jain tradition, very, very strict they used to follow ahimsa practice. Wonderful. So now, young Indian, you should know, you see, these things, great potential of this country for make better world, peaceful world, non-violent world. So think more seriously. So in order to make significant contribution for global level, firstly, within the country, see, we must revive these thousand-year-old tradition. Of course, basically still very good. But I think many people, if may I say so, I think take for granted these things as a part of tradition. That's not sufficient. Now we must educate. These are something very relevant. Not only ancient Indian tradition, but also very relevant to today's world. So through education, you must develop full conviction. These are the fundamental basis of happier humanity, happier world, happier century. So think more seriously. So that wherever I give talk, I always just mention that. And then now the particular success, ethics, happiness. I think the very meaning of success, not just money, no. Billionaire, I do not consider success. Very unhappy billionaire. And the troublemaker also there. Recently, I was in Assam or the Kazakh. Guwahati. Shillong, I think. After my talk, some questions asked me whether modern education is sufficient to bring moral ethics. Then I answer, look, these troublemakers, as far as modern education is concerned, I think they have very good education. So modern education failed, you see, to bring to bring sensible person. Sometimes modern education, you see, develop or helping more ambition, more sort of, jealousy, more anger, more frustrations, like that. So therefore, the success include ethics. Anyone who carry ethical life, on ethical life automatically bring truthful, honest. With that, your life can be transparent. That brings trust. Trust brings friendship. Friendship brings unity. We are a social animal. Each individual's future depends on the rest of the community. So unity, harmony is very essential. The basis of harmony is not money, not power, but warm-heartedness. So, in order to have successful life, ethics is basis. I feel like that. Look, this country, frankly speaking, very much religious-minded nation. I think each of you, I think you observed in your own home, your parents always say, pray to God or Shiva or Ganesh or Brahma, like that, so on. And some offering flowers or some incense. So basically, very, very religious-minded nation. But such religious-minded society, a lot of corruptions. This is big contradiction. If you really don't bother about moral ethics, then you should not pray to God. Should pray to money. Then okay, corruption. If you really pray to God, or devas and devis, then you should lead your life more moral, morally. Suppose religious believer carrying immoral. It's a big contradiction. Those people who deny any value of religion, and then corruption, understandable. People who looks very serious about Dharma, about God, or Buddha, including, I think, Buddhist. Among Tibetan Buddhists also, you see, they are corrupted Buddhists, and also corrupted Lamas. So, suppose these are believers, but they not much pay attention about moral ethics. So then, often I telling people, see, unless you take seriously about religion, or sincerely, otherwise religion teaches us hypocrisy, saying nice thing, doing something different. And then, I think recently, His Holiness Pope dismissed one German bishop. So because the German bishops, or his private sort of residence, very much sort of luxurious lifestyle. So His Holiness found that's contradiction, so he dismissed. I think that's very good. I think among Tibetan lamas or Tibetan sort of spiritual leaders also, I think, need some kind of that kind of action. I think, particularly inside Tibet. Now, see, recently, you see, my Chinese friend, she told me, some town near Tibet, in China proper, see, many false lamas there. They are seeking money and also sex, not genuinely practice spiritual practice like that. So we really need some kind of disciplinary way, like that. So in any way, in order to carry successful life, ethics in economy field, in education field, the health field also, ethics very important for health. Ethics very much related, mainly related with mind, motivation. So peaceful mind, very important for physical health. Now that's medical scientists now confirmed through their experiment. So then happiness, ethics there, happiness automatically comes. Happiness does not mean no longer problem. Problem there. But your mental attitude is such more realistic when we face problem. Problem, I think, since human species start, actually since this whole world start, problem always there. The next, I think, maybe one or two millennium, I think we human beings may remain here. So problem continuously. So now the method use are the animal when they face problem. The only method, only way is escape. We human beings with this intelligence, not escape, face the problem, but keep peace of mind, full of optimism, courageously. That is the human way. One problem, face, avoid, or demoralize. That's not a human way. Then fail, use this human intelligence. So therefore, no matter how difficulties or problems, you can maintain, if you have ethics, you can maintain inner happiness or peace of mind. You can maintain. So therefore, ethics, the happiness, these automatically, ethics is the basis of success life and happiness life. That's my view. Anyone have some reservation, some sort of disagreement, then after some discussions, please raise all your doubt, all your argument. I think with student, I want to say, we, including this person also, now differences disrobed. Getting older, white, but disrobed. Otherwise, we both train according to Nalanda tradition. The root text, memorize. My own case, age 6, 7, already start memorizing root text. Then, about 10 years old, then each word explain with commentary, with help of commentary. Then, about 12 years old, debate, use epistemology, right? Try to understand precise meaning. So we trained that way. There's a Nalanda tradition. In 8th century, great master, philosopher, thinker, logician, Shantarakshita, invited by Tibetan emperor, 8th century. So he introduced the Nalanda tradition in Tibet. So I always is telling, proudly, we are student of Nalanda tradition. So we trained that way. So we love argument. If everybody agree, then no basis of analytical meditation. Different views, different contradictory sort of views, then that creates basis of analytical meditation, isn't it? It is very, very important. So that's all. So thank you. You invited me. Thank you very much. Now you, 21st century's generation of this great nation, you have, if you look past human history, I think this country really, because of that produce a lot of immense great thinkers, philosophers, and logicians. I think among Egyptian civilization, Chinese civilization, and Khazadi, Indus Valley civilization. I think Indus Valley civilization, I think seems to produce much sort of philosopher or thinker. Also, you see, some my friend, even if you say, Buddha, also scientist. Because, you see, he stated, "Oh, my follower, monks, scholars should not accept my teaching out of faith, out of devotion, but rather thorough investigation and experiment." That's a very scientific way to approach. So his follower, like Nagarjuna and Aryadeva and the Buddhapalita, Chandakirti, all these great Nalanda scholars, Nalanda masters follow that way. So they even, you see, investigate certain Buddha's own teaching, or this teaching, although taught by Buddha, but we should not accept that because this goes against reasons. So that's, you see, Buddha emphasis more importance of investigation rather than faith. So therefore, I think this country really, I think, a great potential. In ancient India, really, you see, developed such marvelous sort of thinking of different views. So same Indian, same sort of genes from these ancient Indian sort of thinkers. So you also have the same potential. Now I think recent decades or recent centuries, I think these rich knowledge much damaged. Now that must revive. It is your tradition, your treasure. And this treasure, I think, can make certain contribution, significant contribution for humanity level. Think that. Okay, now some questions.
Aishwarya Sridhar and Oshin Rao, you can stand up and identify yourselves, girls. Ask, can one achieve true peace and happiness without spiritual means? Can we find happiness in materialism as well?
Oh, yes, as I mentioned earlier, the radical materialistic life, completely neglect about inner value, then you can't be a happy person. That's very clear. So, for example, the love, affection from our mother, not come from religious faith. Even animal, like dogs, cats, and also birds. You see, they also have the sort of ability to show to their youngsters affection. It's a biological factor, not come from religion. Now the problem, when we are young, these basic human values are very alive. Then gradually, through materialistic education, and the whole society, through that kind of education, then develop materialistic oriented life or culture. So then these basic human values then becoming dormant. So now we need, through education, through awareness, the importance of valuable all these basic biological factors or good things are something very, very important for whole your life and your family, your community, ultimately global level. So that, I think, biological factor, sense of concern of others' well-being is limited, biased, very much oriented about others' attitude. Now that, with help of human intelligence, education, that further sort of promote, then basically not oriented about others' attitude, but human beings themselves. So on that level, as I mentioned earlier, 7 billion human beings, same human being, When we think that level, then we sort of also sense of concern automatically come. If you too much emphasis about secondary level of differences, then different. So therefore, that kind of education, that kind of sort of spirituality, sense of concern of others' well-being, that kasa chuti, kasa kuchut kare. So you see, not necessary in order to become happy person, not necessary to have religious belief. Without religious belief, simply awareness, basic human values, then you can be a happy person. I already mentioned that out of 7 billion, over 1 billion non-believer. I noticed among non-believer, really very warm-hearted person, I noticed. Really dedicated well-being of others. There are such cases there. Clear? Next question.
Turni wants to know, do you think there's one ethical norm that holds true universally across different cultures and time periods?
What? I think 7 billion human beings all come from their own mother, all nurtured by mother's milk. Same. Now that's the point now. We received immense sort of affection from our mother. So a person who appreciates others' affection also have the potential to show affection to others. So we, 7 billion human beings, all equip that. The sort of problem is whether pay attention through awareness or not. Now that's the problem. In Tamil. This one. Next question.
We always relate happiness to success. How do we accept failure with a smile and overcome it? Shruti, Supriya.
Kosa. A question, Kosa.
The question is, we relate happiness to success. How do we deal with failure?
Ka. I already briefly mentioned, when we face some problem or failure, we must look realistically. If the failure or the tragedy can overcome if you make continuously effort, then no need to worry. Make effort. One failure must utilize more inner strength, more effort. If the failure impossible to overcome, then no need too much worry. Actually, nobody can protect or save. Even God cannot save. So then no need too much worry. It's quite natural now. Okay. That's one 8th century's famous Buddhist philosopher. You see, mentioned when we face some problem, you must analyze the problem. If the problem can overcome, then no need to worry. If that problem cannot overcome, then no use too much worry. Very realistic. Very realistic. And we Tibetan, we have saying 9 times failure, 9 times re-effort. Okay. This also must come from your ancestors' sort of brain, like that. Next question.
Do we need the love of others to be truly happy, or can we be happy within ourselves?
So I think those extreme self-centered person, I think, never be happy person. As I mentioned, we are a social animal. So, too much self-centered attitude, then often, you see, develop suspicion or self-centered attitude, extreme self-centered attitude, automatically distance you from others. Now, for example, here, when I talk, when I meet people, if I too much emphasis, I'm an important person, I'm Dalai Lama, I'm something special. So that thinking, that mental attitude actually distance from the audience. Result, more anxiety. Anxiety develop hypocrisy. Then tell lies. That brings more uneasiness. Clear? So when if I consider, I always consider, I am just one of you, same human being, same emotion, some good emotion, some bad emotion, destructive, constructive. All want a happy life. Same. So mentally, emotionally, physically, we are same. Then no barrier. When I talk, when I meet, I just realize this human being, same. Then no barrier. Then immediately, you say, kasata, kasachuti, feel very close each other. Then no basis of distance, no basis of distrust, no basis of suspicion. Clear? So, extreme self-centered attitude with happy life, impossible. We are social animal. Even like bees, you are beesway, the honey making, bees, or some sort of social animal. They have a limited altruism. That's the basis of their survival. No religion, no constitution, no court, no police force. But biologically, because they are social animal, they equip that. We also social animal. So biologically, we equip that. Sometimes our intelligence, and you see, goes different way. And then also the existing modern education only talks about value of matters, money, power, like that. So, at least I think this country, India, I think land of spirituality, I think should think more research work, how to introduce in existing education system in this country about more education, about moral education. That also must be very strictly secular way. Like that. Next question.
Many people want to know how you have been able to maintain your happiness in spite of so many difficulties. How have you coped with moral dilemmas?
Oh, that's my business. That's my secret. I do not want to share with you. Of course, those points which I mentioned, I myself practice that. So I'm telling you with full conviction, right? Because my practice that is my practice. So now person whose age now nearly 79, so through difficult life, I can maintain peace of mind. Because of these these thinking, all learned from you, like that.
Do happiness and peace always go together?
Then perhaps another secret is, I think, generally every night, 8-9 hours sleep, sound sleep. That also is the source of my peaceful mind.
One more secret people want to know. How do you define success?
Kasa.
How do you define success?
Success, I think a meaningful life, sensible life, which when end come, you feel happy. Lot of money, at the time of death, you may develop more worry. Now, those money, who use that money? Even your family member, I know is some my friend, the father passed away, and then for the money, their relatives call. So, and then those powerful sort of heroes on the past human history, I think at the time of death, I think too much worry. Too much worry. So only like one Catholic monk I met in Spain, who spent 5 years in mountain, some meditation, and very little hot meal, just bread and tea, like that. So when I was there, he wanted, because of that, to see me. He came. So then I asked him, I was told, you spent 5 years in hermit life in the mountain. What kind of practice? He told me, meditate on love. When he expressed that, in his eyes, some special sort of peaceful, joyful sort of the expression. So hermit life, no luxurious life, even basic necessity also not there, but very happy person. So happiness, sensorial level of pleasure is very limited. I think modern life, unless modern life sort of joyful or happiness, very much based on sensorial experiences, seeing something nice, or cinema, or television, or sports, or new places, scenery, or music, or taste, smell, touch, including sex. All these sensorial level experiences. The sensorial level experiences, you see, often goes with deeper level, much worry, much anxiety. Mental level, much anxiety, much worry. Then short period, some kind of painkiller. Then seeing some nice things, hearing some music. So certain sort of inner peace entirely depend on sensorial experience are very, very superficial. I think the materialistic way of life is very superficial. Something happened, some good things happen, too much excitement. Little bad things happen, completely demoralized. That's the sign of weakness of mental level strength. Right? So real, long-lasting happiness must develop in mental level, not depend on sensorial experiences. So now, for example, here, faith related with mental level, and compassion, mental level. So those people who following theistic religion, the single-pointed faith towards God as a creator, that provides peace in mental level. Then, non-theistic religion such as Sankhya philosophy, Jain philosophy, Jain tradition, and Buddhist tradition, no concept of creator, but rather self-creation. So we believe law of causality. So according to that, again, you see the helping other, if possible, helping other. If not possible, at least restrain harming other. So these related with motivation. So practice these things brings tremendous inner peace. And that's mental level. So when we see some sort of unhappy things, see or hear, it doesn't matter. So long your mental level calm. Even physical pain, mental level calm, peace. Physical pain, not much effect. That's my own experience. When on one occasion I was in Patna, so there are many poor children, barefoot. There seems no proper facility of education. Just go here and there. And then near in Patna, Patna city, that day I saw one old person, must be sick, nobody taking care. So that very day, I also developed serious pain here. So that night, in my hotel in Patna, lay down, constantly thinking, or reflect those children, and particularly that sick person, old person. More sense of concern of these people. My physical pain, much almost to forget, like that. So mental level experience are much more stronger than sensorial level. Other hand, mental level worry cannot subdue by physical comfort. Physical pain can subdue by mental mental happiness, like that. Yeah, next question.
The current state of the world is very troublesome many times. What do you think as an individual one can do to help with the troubled world today?
Pray. I skeptical about prayer. Of course, I am Buddhist monk in my daily practice, including prayer. But for individual, prayer is good, helpful. But for society, for world, I don't think, I do not much hope world problem can solve through prayer. No. World problem can solve only through action, not prayer. So karma means action. So action makes differences. Just prayer is wishful thinking, may not much effect. So work hard with vision, sincere motivation, and holistic picture, holistic view, and determination. That's the only way change world. World means 7 billion human beings. 7 billion is combination of individual. So initiative must come from individual. So here, each individual think these things and analyze and discuss among yourself. More discussions. Or then build inner strength out of awareness, moral principle. That creates more happier family. One family, 10 families, 100 families, 1,000 families. That's the way to build happy society. one happy society here, one happy society there, then that way, happy national, happy nation. That eventually, happy humanity. That's the only way. Clear? Yes?
How would you
So
different-
ultimately, change world, build happier 21st century, must start from individual. So individual have tremendous responsibility. Yes.
How would you differentiate between happiness and contentment?
Kasa, chokshi. Contentment also one important factor of happiness. Too much greed. When you have 10 rupees, 10 rupees, you greed 100. When you get 100, you want 1,000. When you got 1,000, you want 10,000, 100,000, million, billion. So that person, so long keep here greedy, never get satisfaction. As I mentioned earlier, that hermit person, hermit, very happy. So, greedy happiness, difficult. Satisfaction, contentment. Therefore, all major religious tradition talks contentment. Many Christian practitioners, Islam practitioner, Hindu practitioner, Buddhist practitioner, those genuine ones, their living standard, very contented, simplicity. Many Shankara Acharya here in this country, their personal lifestyle, very simple style, like that. So therefore, the contentment also one important factor for happiness. Next question.
Are desires and attachments always to be seen as negative?
Karsa. Of course, my knowledge, English, limited. But usually I should understand, and also is it telling people. Desire, not bad. Without desire, no action. No action, no development. So, desire is important. But desire for what? Desire to kill other, bad. Desire to just materially rich. These are narrow. But desire for genuine happiness is very right. Desire for happy world, very right. Now attachment. Tibetan medicine. Now this particular medicine, preventive for flu. So when I mix with many people, then sometimes you say, Kasati means sneeze away. How like that? That sometimes happens. So this is preventive measure for that. Not sweet, very bad taste. It may appears to you, Dalai eating something sweet. Attachment. Since I understand, my understanding is rare. attachment is biased, limited. So love and attachment, genuine love, genuine compassion, and attachment, different thing. I think animals, we human beings, a biological factor, sort of love, is attachment. Is limited, very much oriented about others' attitude. So those people or factor which creates problem for you, you develop anger. So that kind of attachment is biased. Through awareness, through education, compassion towards all sentient beings, all human beings, including your enemy, that's unbiased love. That only human being can do that because of human intelligence. Human intelligence used properly, we have the sort of ability to develop that level of compassion. That's unbiased compassion, not attachment. Biological factor of compassion is very much mixed with attachment. Attachment usually goes together. Attachment and hatred go together. Clear? This is Buddhist psychology. Your knowledge. You forgot these things. We kept still alive. Thank you, thank you. Now, young sisters, think more seriously. Beside your lesson, day-to-day lesson, and homework, discuss about these things. Then, how much you can make contribution regarding these things. So you must think. Okay, if we daytime think, analyze more, then even dream time also, you see, so analyze. My own practice, daytime, certain things, analytical meditation. It also used to come dream time, analyze. So sometimes better understanding in dream time, because awaken time, waking sort of state, our mind a little bit scattered. Dream time, sensorial, no longer functioning, active. So only mental level. So analyze on that level, sometimes become more deeper and sharper. That's my secret. We all have same potential. Think, analyze, or experiment. In order to carry these things, you should not touch alcohol and drug. And dinner must less, not a heavy dinner. Then dream time, your mind can remain more alert. Okay, what do you think? Some sense?